All right. Today is Q&A, question and answer day. You're on the FBTV Podcast, the video podcast. We live stream it every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Mark your calendar, set your alarm, join us. My name is Mike. I am the host for the FBTV Podcast. Matter of fact, we do a couple of these a week. If you missed the video version of the podcast, the whole video podcast streamed, well, you can find the audio version of it on your favorite podcasting app. And be it Apple or iTunes or Stitcher or TuneIn or Spotify or Google or any of them. Matter of fact, if you can't find us on your favorite podcasting app, let us know and we'll make sure we're on it. If you want to know more about Taltoa, TALTOA.com, check out our website. We provide transportation, logistics, training, consulting, placement for freight brokers, freight broker agents. We even provide services for trucking companies. Anyway, you can check it out. Don't want to get too far off that subject today. I mean, check it out, Taltoa.com, because I talk about it all the time. TALTOA.com. If you have questions, feel free to call me, 479-668-0838, as it pertains to Taltoa. Okay. If you've got questions for the Saturday morning FBTV video podcast that we live stream here on YouTube, email me. Send them to me, FBTV at freightbrokertv.com. If you're watching this video as a standalone video just for the topic itself, you can leave your question below in the comments area. You can also use Skype. If you've got Skype, open it up, do a search for FBTV. You can send us a message. You can even call us if you want, leave a message on our voicemail. But if you do that, be prepared. You might hear your voice on one of these podcasts. But anyway, that's that. All right, Micah. I got a question from Micah. Micah says, starting in the freight and logistics industry, my question is, what would or should be my best option as far as growing from a nobody with little to no money or experience and turn life misfortunes and debts into a respectable and professional lifestyle? All right, he's got a couple of questions here, and this goes on for a little bit, so let's address that first. What would or should be my best option as far as growing from a nobody with little to no money or experience and turn life's misfortunes and debts into a respectable professional lifestyle? And I assume you're referring to doing that as a freight broker or freight broker agent, as the case may be. Any of you that have watched any of these videos or heard podcasts in the past or have talked to me, you know what I'm getting ready to say. First thing you do, you start out as a freight broker agent. You said starting. Freight broker agent. Well, you're doing the right thing. Obviously, you found our videos, our FBTV page on YouTube. Maybe you're listening to podcast. I don't know, Micah, maybe we've talked. And that's great. But you start out as a freight broker agent. That would be my recommendation. The reason is that's going to allow you the opportunity to begin your broker operation without the weight of the world on your shoulders. Now, what do I mean by that? Without the responsibility and liability of being the freight brokerage company, because there's a lot more to it than just going out here, getting customers, getting loads, and finding trucks to move those loads. Now, that is where the money's made, but you got administrative, you got to be able to pay the trucks, you got to build the customers. There's a lot of things you got to handle here, and just getting your license, authority, BOC3, all that, to be able to be a legal broker. That doesn't mean you're ready to go yet, even though it's not required. Okay, first of all, the only thing you're going to be required to have to be a legal brokerage, as far as the federal government is concerned, is your license, $75,000 property broker surety bond, BOC3, and UCR. That's it. However, insurance, you're going to want insurance, like contingent cargo, contingent auto liability, errors and omissions. That's not going to be too cheap. But these are things to think about. You got to be able to pay those trucks. I know you may be thinking, well, I've been told I can use a factoring company. Yeah, you can. Don't recommend it. Why? Simply because you lose control of your client base. The factoring company, yeah, they'll advance you that money and charge you 3, 4, 5%, whatever the fees are. Advance you enough money basically to pay the truck, and they'll pay you whatever's left, which is going to be your profit after they get paid by your customer. But here's the problem. First thing that's going to happen when you factor a company's invoice, one of your customers' invoices with the factoring company, is that factoring company is going to send your customer what is known as an assignment letter, meaning they're going to tell the customer that you have assigned the right to invoice them to the factoring company. Therefore, until they release it, you may not direct bill that shipper. Well, how long, you may ask? How long does that have to stay? Well, you can talk, but from what I hear, what I'm seeing from talking to other factoring companies, because I get factoring companies, they call all the time wanting us to recommend them. And, well, we just can't do it because a broker shouldn't be using a factoring company. Very rare instances, and I'll get into that in a moment. But you're going to have the account clear, that customer's account clear. In other words, no balance, everything's paid in full before you can direct bill. So if your customer pays in 30 days, it's going to be a month after your last load before you can do anything with that customer and bill them direct. See what I mean? Then it's probably going to be another week or so because the factoring company is going to have to release the assignment. And who knows, they may drag their feet. You never know how that stuff works. But you're going to have to jump through some hoops. Now, here's the thing. Your customer gets that letter from the factoring company. Okay, they're used to that with the trucking company. You think about it, especially now, fuel costs a lot of money. 300-gallon tank, $5. I don't know how you do the math, That's just every couple of days. It takes a lot of money, to operate a truck. Trucking companies, they got to have that cash flow, and the easiest way for them to do that is through a factoring company. And even there, I really don't recommend it if you can stay away from it. But, we're talking gobs of money. Those trucks will swallow that money quick. You may say, well, what's the alternative, Mike? If I'm a trucking company, well, if you're working with brokers, work only with brokers that will give you a fuel advance or offer you quick pay. You're going to find that you're going to it's going to be about the same amount of money. From the as far as fees go for that aspect. Sometimes not, but anyway, that's just an alternative. Get an open line of credit at your bank. Revolving line of credit. But anyway, neither here nor there. So that's going to be maybe not a red flag, but a yellow flag to your customer when they get that letter of assignment. They expect you as a broker to pay that truck. They don't want to answer the phone one day and trucking company on the other end saying, hey, we never got paid. They don't want to deal with that. Because if they paid you, they expect you to pay the truck. See what I mean? Now, more than that, actually, why you would not want to use a factoring company, these are your customers. And I know every factoring company out there would dispute what I'm getting ready to tell you, but the fact remains it can happen. Your customer is one day late. They're going to start getting calls from the factoring company, dunning them for payment. The people that are making these collection calls don't work for you. And realistically, they could care less about your customer. They only care about getting money for their company. Got to think about this. How many of those calls before your customer says, the heck with it, I'm not working with that broker anymore? They're just not doing it. It's not worth it. So keep that in mind. But anyway, kind of got off topic. The main thing, Micah, start out as a freight broker agent. You may only need to do it for 2 or 3 months, whatever, 6 months, whatever. But it's going to give you the opportunity to get in there, start gaining the experience from working as a freight broker agent day to day. It's going to give you the opportunity to get out there and start getting the experience, begin that operation, start building a customer base, start building relationships, a carrier following, because this too, going back to that factoring deal, trucking companies with a new broker, they'd really rather a broker be in business for a year. Usually it takes a year to get a credit rating, as a broker. But if you've already got a relationship with carriers that have hauled freight for you in the past, they'll extend you a courtesy. 99 times out of 100, that trucking company will continue to move your freight under your own license. They know you. You've got that relationship built. See, you're building up a customer base, and you're also building a carrier following. This takes time. This is a process. This is why, start out as an agent, along with everything else I said. All right, moving on with this question. Micah, he continues, I'm in school to learn supply chain management, but I feel like I'm being misled. I believe having an education is very important, but I don't have a lot of time to waste. He goes on to say he's 35, he has 2 kids, and, he's got to pay the bills. He says working has become very challenging as far as work ethics. Not sure what you mean by that. Okay, I'm not sure what you mean by that. If you're going to be a freight broker, your ethics, you got to stay top. Matter of fact, there's a video that dropped the other day, Pinocchio brokers. You may want to watch that, Mike, if you haven't already. You got to keep your ethics up there. Ethics as a broker, man. You lose your ethics, and people won't want to work with you at all. You got to be above board. Anyway, watch that video. Anyway, he goes on to say, well, he's 35. He's too old to learn new tricks, but he feels the need to learn from more experienced people. And I get that. Totally get that. However, I'm going to tell you, Michael, I know 35, you feel, oh, man, I'm old. Oh, not yet. Oh, to be 35 again. You got a lifetime in front of you, buddy. Take your time, take a breath. Don't sweat it. The thing is, I've got a son, and I so tried to get him into brokering back when, 15 years ago. Nah, he didn't want to do it. If he would have got into brokering back then, he would be so sitting pretty right now. He'd be so independently wealthy if he would have got in there and worked. Kids. Give yourself time, Micah. I mean, I know 35. I remember when I was 35, I thought, ooh, but no, you got a long way to go. You're still young. Enjoy it. Don't forget it. Don't make yourself old before your time. Anyway, you go on to ask, should I stay in school and get a bachelor's degree in business administration and supply chain management, even if I'm not wanting to work in a warehouse? I'm wanting to be a broker and open my own firm. Of course you should stay in school. Actually, you can do both, Micah. Stay in school, get your bachelor's, and you can broker at the same time. It's just that simple. You can't. That's the nice thing about starting out as a broker agent. As a broker agent, you are an independent contractor. All right? You're an independent contractor, bottom line. Nobody is telling you what time you got to work. Nobody. And to be honest with you, if you're working with a broker that's trying to give you quotas, find you another broker. That's too much pressure. You don't need that kind of pressure. You just don't need it. You need to be out there and be able to work like you want. But, you work how you want to. So, yes, it's going to be feasible, totally feasible for you to stay. I've got clients that drive trucks and broker. You just got to find time to make it work for the way you do it. But, yeah, by all means, I'd You're in school. I don't know how many years you've been in already. Where you're at as far as your education goes. But I tell you what, that they talk about degrees anymore. Going to college, don't do it. But if you're already there, that degree in business admin and supply chain management, that can't hurt you with what you're doing as far as transportation. You never know. This is something else I've told brokers in the past. You may start out as a broker, but while you're brokering, you might find opportunities opening up to you. I've had clients that were able to see opportunities opening up because they had a customer, and their customer is trying to find a warehouse in their locale. Well, the light went off on the broker and thought, hey, I can rent a warehouse. I can do this. And they put together a contract that broker, not only was he brokering, but he rented a facility where he could warehouse some of his customers' product. Had another client, trucking company, trying to find a drop yard, around their locale. Well, that client just happened they were brokering, but they happened to have some land that was adjacent to a highway. All they had to do was build a fence around it, and they had a drop yard. That bachelor's degree, business admin, supply chain management, that's going to help you in the future because it can't hurt you. That's the main thing. Okay, so yeah, my advice to you, totally, 100%, stay in school.